G'day guys, welcome to this episode and welcome to this new series, the Fuck Cancer Tour, as we travel the West Australian coast for the next 3 months. Got to apologise as well from the top. The F-bomb will get dropped a couple of times in this episode, but I sort of need to as I explain what's going on over the next few months. My wife was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer. It was basically Christmas in 2022. At the time we had a 5-month-old and also just about 2-year-old. Triple negative breast cancer is really aggressive, so my wife was classified as stage 2, but essentially it was that aggressive by the time she started her treatment. It was stage 3, and while the doctors were always really positive and we wanted to be positive as well, there was certainly elements of, particularly from me, thinking about a life moving forward, without your wife, and also, your really young kids having a life without their mum. So for the first few months it was incredibly distressing and a really stressful time, and probably this trip came about through those really dark days where you're trying to look forward and thinking about coming out of the darkness, and we always refer to that period of our life being really dark, and you're looking at coming out into the light. And for us, thinking about the light is basically when we sort of came up with the idea of this trip. So getting away as a family, caravanning up the coast of Western Australia and spending 3 months together was something that always really helped us and allowed us to look forward. As I mentioned, my wife, when she was first diagnosed, we had a 5-month-old, so to some degree she was really robbed of that time with a little baby as well. There were days where she was so sick she wasn't even getting out of bed. So again, the thought of having this opportunity to spend time together and potentially making up for a bit of that period that she lost, and to some degree we lost, because it was really hard to do whole family things when she was really sick, that was again another massive appeal to what we're doing now. About mid last year, so mid 2023, my wife was given the all clear, and things are really good now. When she was given the all clear, she still had another 6 months of immunotherapy to do, and the specialist, we had the world's best specialist, but he's sort of taken it all, is that you continue to do the immunotherapy to give you the best opportunity to get to that 1-year mark, that 2-year mark, that 5-year mark. As we know, nothing's ever guaranteed, probably ever, but if you can get to that 5-year mark, your prognosis for a healthy life ongoing is really good. So she had to go through a whole year worth of treatment, and as you can imagine, that was really full on for her. It is amazing how much life can change in a year, both positively and negatively. We couldn't imagine sort of probably this time last year what had preceded for us in that year before she was sick, and how quickly it can all come on and how quickly it can go downhill. But then on the opposite side of that, you now forecast a year forward and how much better things are for our little family. We're on a remote beach in Western Australia together, having the time of our lives, and things are really good. The name Fuck Cancer Tour really came about from probably two parts. One part was we were incredibly lucky. We had some friends set up a GoFundMe for us. So my wife wasn't working last year. Just the financial strain of someone having cancer as well, or the different bills that were piling in. And also I was taking a day off a week to try and support the family as well. Throughout that time, through this funding, we were able to employ a nanny, and she basically saved our family. So money was going to that and to the bills and to support me and having a day off as well. And we were so lucky to have that money coming in, and when that money was coming into our bank account, we'd named the bank account Fuck Cancer. So that sort of impacts the name of this tour or trip. But then also it's just generally a bit of a fuck you to cancer. When we first came up with this idea of traveling, my wife was so sick, and you couldn't even really imagine how you'd be doing it. But now, a year forward, it is really a big fuck you to cancer, a fuck you to how sick she was, and it's really a bit of a fuck yes to getting on with life and being able to continue to live like this, in a beautiful location. And this is just one of many as we head along the West Australian coast. So hopefully you'll join us over the next 3 months as we travel in a really lovely caravan, our Y62 Patrol and our little family, as we head along the West Australian coast and check out some of the fantastic locations that we have in our backyard.